Okay. Well, good morning. For our practice today, I wanted to talk about the importance of practice. I was thinking about how when we commit ourselves to a practice, we are making an investment in our expansion. We're saying, I value my growth. And that's really communicating to our hearts and our minds love, that we are invested in ourselves and us becoming the greatest version of ourselves and moving towards our highest potential. And when we think about practice, we think about oftentimes our yoga practice, because here we are together about to step into that. But if we kind of step back a little bit and consider like all the moments of practice that went into everything that allows us to step onto this yoga mat. Like when we were little and we were learning to walk or learning communication language, think about all the time and the energy that went into just those basic things that make this possible. Even thinking about your yoga practice itself too is it's not just the hours that you spend on your yoga mat that contribute to your practice and the trajectory of your yoga practice. It's all the hours of the things that you learned before you got here, right? Those also are present in the moment of your practice, but it's all the hours that you spend off your yoga mat that also contribute to your yoga practice moving forward and growing, right? When we take a practice of mindfulness off the mat, that is our yoga practice. That is practice and a commitment to the practice. But I just wanted to throw that out there, that there is maybe practice is more involved in our day-to-day and our everyday lives than maybe we realize. And like so much of what we experience when we move about our day that we maybe take for granted or something that we just don't even recognize or acknowledge anymore because we've done it so many times, that is the result of practice. And so when we move across our yoga mats today, just recognizing like all the hours of energy and commitment that you've already put into stepping into this moment, and that everything that you've done in your entire life up until this moment is actually right there with you and is playing a part in the understanding of this moment, right? And how you're showing up to this moment, and how you'll then take this moment and bring it to the next. So anyhow, practice is important. So whatever your practice needs today, and allow yourself to really honor that. I'm going to throw some hips and IT band stuff into what I already had planned. But I do want to say that a handful of the elements of our practice today were inspired by one of my teachers. So if you've ever practiced with Greta Hill, she's amazing. And her teacher is Sienna Sherman. And I had popped into Greta's class earlier in the week. She was like, you should come on Saturday to this workshop with Sienna. And for a handful of reasons, I was like a little bit intimidated by stepping into that space and into that class. And as I got there, I realized I was definitely meant to be there. So I felt really inspired by some of the functional movement that she offered. And so I'm going to share some of that with you. All that just to say that I did not create this on my own. But we're going to start in seated meditation. So you can start in a cross-legged seat or sitting in Virasana on your shins. If you prefer your back body, of course, feel free to settle into the earth, your spine supporting you. If you prefer child's pose, feel free to find child's pose instead. But just take a moment to really settle in to your chosen shape, into your body, into your breath, into this present moment. And as you begin to expand your breath in every direction, to your front body, to your back body, and to your side bodies. Feel your inhale as an invitation to this present moment, to this moment right here, right now, allowing any rumination over the past or any worry about the future to fade away. Every inhale bringing you right back here. And as you lengthen out every exhale, just allowing that breath to slowly release all the way to empty. Let each exhale be that reminder that you can begin again. A reminder to let go, to release, and to set aside. That with every cycle of breath, you have an opportunity to begin again. Okay. To begin focusing and redirecting your attention, your energy, your heart back into alignment, back onto that path that is really true for you. Right? That can happen in a moment when we find ourselves taking little detours or we find ourselves in distraction. Our breath can bring us back. And even though each breath is that opportunity to reset, we carry with us all those moments, all those hours of wisdom that have brought us to this time together, into your practice right now. And so maybe there's some sort of commitment that you'd like to make to your practice today. Maybe there's a practice in your life that you would like to recommit to. Maybe that commitment means something a little bit different now. Perhaps you want to devote your practice to someone or something outside of yourself today. Something outside of these 60 minutes. And whatever the intention is that feels most true for you, go ahead and bring that right to the forefront. As you feel your awareness of that intention, if you'd like to bring one or both hands to your heart, go ahead and place your hands either to stack on your heart. You can bring your hands into Anjali Mudra prayer. And continuing to hold that intention right there, right in the front of your awareness, letting everything else fade back. As you're ready, go ahead and take a really deep breath in through your nose. And then open mouth exhale, let that breath go. We'll take 2 more just like that. So a deep breath in. And a cleansing breath out. Just one more time, full expansive in-breath. And allow that breath to empty. Let it go. And as you're ready, we're going to meet in a tabletop pose. So just finding your way to all fours. Go ahead and stack your shoulders over your wrists. Take your hips to stack over your knees, spread your fingers nice and wide. As you grip the earth with your finger pads, feel that energy travel up through your forearms, your upper arms into your chest. There's intention in your hands that travels through your entire body. Press the tops of your feet into the earth. And then as you inhale, cow pose, lift your heart, lift your tailbone. On your exhale, find your cat pose, stretch around your spine, press into your hands. Head hangs heavy. Just 2 more like that. We'll inhale to our cow shape, heart and tailbone lift. And on your exhale, cat pose, round your spine. And last round here, breath in, send your heart to the ceiling, lift your tailbone to the sky, with a stretch across your belly. And exhale, cat pose, spread your shoulder blades wide across the back of your heart. Push the earth away. And then come to a neutral spine, so long from your crown to your tailbone. You're going to keep your tabletop shape exactly as it is, except for your left leg. Send your left leg out to the side and plant your left foot down on the earth in line with your left hip. You want to have the four corners of your left foot firmly rooted to the ground. So creating some energy through your left leg, engage through your quad, and start to send your hips back in space. So this extended leg child's pose. And you can either just reach your hips back and stay here, or you can find some movement if you want to shift forward and send it back again. Just seeing what feels best in your left hip in this moment. Take one more moment here. So one more deep breath in. Maybe an open mouth exhale out. And then as you shift forward, you're going to slide your left toes to the back of your yoga mat. As you plant down through your toes, press back through your heel to stretch through your calf. Take another breath in. And then as you exhale, modified side plank, you're going to face the left side of your yoga mat. So as you kickstand your right toes, spin open, left hand reaches to the sky, and then add in a side bend. Extend your left hand up overhead. Root down to your right knee and your right hand to create more expansion across your left side body. Feel your left ribs open up as you breathe into your left side. And then engagement through your center, get really strong through your core. You might have to slide your left foot a little bit further away. Start to reach your left hand towards the back of your yoga mat and try to use your left side body strength to pull you up into your gate pose. You're going to slowly rise up, spread your wings, and then tip towards your left leg, creating a side bend the other direction. Roll your sternum open to the sky. And then breathe into that space between your right hip and your right armpit. And from here, as you're ready, slowly start to dive back down. We're going to meet in our tabletop pose again. As you arrive to all fours, inhale to a cow pose, lift your heart and tailbone. On your exhale, puppy pose, keep your hips stacked directly over your knees. Walk your hands forward, bring your chest down to the earth. Your forehead or your heart can be on your yoga mat. Root down to your palms or your fingertips and just take one more big breath here. Go ahead and press into your hands. Walk it back into your tabletop pose and then reach your right foot to the right. And we'll find that extended leg child's pose second side. So again, make sure the four corners of your right foot are rooted into the earth. Your right leg is strong. And start to send your pelvis back in space. You can also think about an anterior pelvic tilt. So think kind of like cow pose, stick your tailbone up to the sky. Imagine you could tilt the front of your pelvis down towards the ground. And then you decide if you want to be in movement or stillness. As you explore the space in your right hip for about one more breath, see if you can soften through your shoulders and your jaw. So notice if your teeth are clenched tight, relax the muscles through your face. And we're going to slide it forward, shoulders go over your wrists again. Slide your right toes back, take a moment to extend through your right heel, stretch to the back of your right leg. And then we'll open up to our modified side plank to start. Right hand reaches high. The first side bend sends your right hand overhead. As you root through your right foot and reach through your right fingertips so that energy along the entire length of your right side. And when you're ready to make your transition to your gate pose, make sure you engage through your front body a lot. Pull your front ribs to the back of your body, navel to spine. Right hand's going to start to lead the way. Your right foot might just scooch a little bit further to the back of your yoga mat as you lift up. And then tip it over the opposite direction. Right hand goes down your right leg, left hand overhead. Just open to the sky, breathe. Again, use your core to control your transition. We're going to slowly make our way back into our tabletop pose. Bring it forward to all fours. Inhale to your cow pose, lift your heart, lift your tailbone. And again, exhale, puppy pose, walk your hands forward, forehead or chest to the earth you choose. This time from our puppy pose, we're going to start to slither forward into Sphinx. So as you look forward, bend at your elbows and slide forward so your pelvis is on the ground. You might have to walk your elbows and adjust a little bit so that your elbows are strapped directly beneath your shoulders. Bring your forearms so they're two parallel lines. Firmly root down with your palms and grip your finger pads into the earth. So just like you would in like a dolphin pose, that amount of energy. As you drive through your elbows, your chest lengthen to the sky, so the crown of your head reach tall to the ceiling. And then energetically hug your elbows back in space and your collarbones wide. So your shoulder blades draw gently together to help open your front line. And just be mindful that as you drag your elbows back in space, you're not compressing through your low back. So elbows are pulling energetically back, but we draw our rib cage forward away from our pelvis. Now moving our awareness down through our body, you might readjust your legs so that they are hips distance or closer. Press down with your toenails, root to the tops of your feet so your thighs light up, and then pull your navel up to your spine. So your navel to spine connection is helping to support your low back, but it's also connecting the energy of your upper body to your lower body. So you should feel really, really active in this shape. And take another breath in. On your exhale, you're going to send your elbows wide, stack your hands underneath your forehead, belly down Shavasana. Take a breath through your nose. And open mouth, exhale to release. Now you're going to keep your forehead stacked on the backs of your hands, elbows stay wide as they are. You're going to keep your feet rooted to the earth, thighs engaged, navel to spine. Just going to lift your upper body away from the ground. So take a breath in. As you exhale, lift up. Keep your hands connected to your forehead. Elbows float wide. Shoulder blades draw towards each other. Lengthen through the nape of your neck. Imagine you could extend the crown of your head further away from your tailbone. Take a nice big breath in and out. And two more breaths here. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, navel to spine. One more time. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, lower down. Okay. From here, slide your hands back by your low ribs. We're going to start to move towards a cobra, but leading with the strength of our spine. So we want to initiate with the back body strength. So you draw your shoulder blades together, reach your elbows back into the midline, and then use the strength along your spine to lift you up first. And then try to keep that engagement along your spine as you slowly start to lift up, maybe a little bit taller into your cobra. And from there, press it back slowly, child's pose, reach your hips to your heels. And take a big breath in again. Maybe an open mouth exhale out. If you'd like to, bend at your elbows and bring prayer hands to the nape of your neck. With your prayer hands at the nape of your neck, you want to press your elbows down into the earth and isometrically drag your elbows back to your knees. So without moving your elbows, the energy of your elbows is pulling towards your knees. And when you're ready, start to find your way back into tabletop pose one more time. Tuck your toes underneath on your inhale, and then just hover your knees above the earth as you exhale. So you find this hovering tabletop, take a big breath in. A slow, steady breath out. Hug your upper arm bones to the midline. Squeeze your forearms to the midline. Imagine you have a yoga block between your arms. And use your core strength, your low belly strength, to press your toes into the earth. One more inhale, lengthen through the nape of your neck. And your exhale, downward facing dog. Hip creases send you up and back. And take a moment here, maybe find some movement. You'd like to reach one heel to the earth and then the other. Offer some awareness to your hands. Finger pads grip the earth again. Arms are strong. And then we're going to inhale our right leg to the sky, three-legged dog. On your exhale, bend your knee and open your hip just for a moment. And then breath in, re-extend your right leg and step your right foot forward to the top of your yoga mat. You're going to lower your left knee down to the ground. On your breath in, lift up through your heart and hands. Instead of sinking your hips forward towards the earth, think about drawing your pelvis back in space. So your shoulders are more stacked over your hips and your hips are more stacked over your left knee. Pull your navel up towards the back of your heart, like you're trying to lift the front hip bones of your pelvis to your rib cage. So that amount of engagement. Tailbone slightly lengthens to the ground. Now see if you can keep that. Try not to let your pelvis tilt or move at all. And then move your hips forward. So you might not go as far forward, but you might get a deeper stretch without having to dump into your pelvis, which often then dumps into our low back. Yeah. And from here, just take one more breath in. As you inhale, your rib cage lifts and lengthens away from your hips. And with your exhale, hands to the earth. Lift your back knee, extend both of your legs, cat lunge, your hamstring stretch. And offer one more breath to this shape. And then bend into your right knee. We're going to take a cross-legged forward fold. This is that IT band moment. So take your left ankle behind your right. Your pinky toes do not need to line up. You can bend your knees as much as you want to. Let your head hang heavy. If this feels too intense this early in your practice, feel free to take a regular forward fold instead. But again, you can bend your knees as much as you want to. Lean a little bit forward and back. Find that sweet spot. And then unwind your legs to your traditional forward fold. Inhale to your halfway lift. Collarbones reach forward as your tailbone stretches back. And exhale to release. Rise all the way to stand Urdhva Hastasana. Take a big breath in. With your exhale, soft knees, goddess your arms, elbows go wide, feel your shoulder blades, press your heart up to the sky. So the lift of your chest is coming from the strength of your back body. Next, inhale, reaches your hands to the ceiling again, and exhale to forward fold. Take a breath in to lift up halfway. On your breath out, hands to the earth, step your feet back to your high plank. Take a moment just to be here. So reconnect to your breath, line up your quads, press your hands to draw your front ribs in, navel to spine. Find that hug to your midline again. So imaginary blocks between your arms. Also imaginary block between your thighs. On your inhale, you're going to bend your knees, push your hips back to your heels. It's kind of crouching tiger position. On your exhale, shift forward to high plank. Now two more like that. Inhale, bend your knees to a hover. Shoulders out of ears, you push your hips back. And exhale, forward high plank. One more time, inhale, knees bend, hips shift back. On your exhale, puppy pose, bring your knees to the earth. Hips stay high, walk your hands forward, forehead or chest to the mat. Take your inhale. and your exhale. We slither forward into Sphinx pose once again. Hips to the earth, untuck your toes, adjust your elbows, maybe adjust your legs so they're at least hips distance, right, or closer. So from your Sphinx pose this time, once your elbows are stacked beneath your shoulders, re-engage through your belly, the tops of your feet and your hands. You're going to root down to your left forearm. Now, you might have to angle your left forearm a little bit into the midline, creating like a 45-degree angle. So see what feels good for your left shoulder. What we're going to do is you're going to engage through your belly and your back, creating a goddess with your right arm. You're going to pulse open. So for me, I personally like left forearm, 45-degree angle to the midline. I'm going to pulse open. As I inhale, I bring it back down. And exhale, push through your left forearm, open through your right, big goddess opening to the right. And inhale back down. Exhaling on the effort one more time, open. And then bring it back down. Finding second side again, maybe you angle your right hand in a little bit. So your right palm is about in line with the center of your chest. As you root through your right elbow, engage your belly, goddess your left arm. And inhale, pulse open. So try to use the back of your heartstring to twist it open to the left. We exhale down. Take a breath in. And open. One more time, we inhale down. We'll exhale with the effort. Open. And then bring it back to your Sphinx pose. Elbows go wide, belly down, Shavasana, forehead, the backs of your hands. Take one breath in through your nose and one breath out of your mouth. Slide your hands back by your low ribs. Okay, without using your hands first, just use the strength along your spine to lift your chest, low cobra. Keep the engagement along your spine and slowly find your way to high cobra or to upward facing dog. You go to downward facing dog from there. And from your downward facing dog, take a breath in, lift your left leg to the sky. Exhale to bend your knee, open your hip just for this moment. Three-legged dog, re-extend. And then place your left foot forward to the top of your mat. As you release your right knee to the earth, inhale to lift and lengthen towards the ceiling. And again, rather than allowing your hips to dump forward, draw your pelvis back in space. Pull your navel up and back, that space behind your heart. As your hip bones lift up from your core engagement to the length of your low back. You can think about also hugging your left heel back and your right knee forward, so that kind of opposing action, and to the midline. Keep all of that. I know that's a lot of things. And then from there, you might slide your hips forward, but only go as far forward as you can keep that same lift of your pelvis, that same engagement through your center. Breath in, lengthen through your side bodies. And breath out takes us to our cat lunge. Extend both of your legs. Right heel can be higher or low, that's personal preference, different sensations. But feel your left thigh bone really plug back and into your pelvis. So left thigh is moving back in space and into the midline. That's also going to help reach into your IT band a little bit more. We'll transition to our cross-legged forward fold from here. Remember, you can take a traditional forward fold if you prefer that. So bend into your left knee. Right ankle is going behind your left. Let your knees soften, head hangs heavy. Incorporate any movement that is interesting to you. Just let yourself be curious. And take a breath. Okay. From here, unwind your legs, traditional forward fold. Breathe into your halfway lift, lengthen your spine. On your exhale, forward fold release. Chair pose, sink into your seat. You drive through your heels, lift your heart and hands, pull your navel in, and press your heels actively down and forward. That's going to help slide your sits bones back. Take an extra breath here. Get really proud of your chest. On your breath out, airplane your arms beside you. You're going to lean into your left foot, come to your right tippy toes, and then maybe flamingo your right heel to your seat. So I recognize this is our first standing shape other than like our Urdhva Hastasana, and you're on one leg. So it might be extra wobbly. Just embracing the wobbles. You're going to slowly rise up one-legged Tadasana. Take your big breath in. And exhale, figure four, right ankle on your left thigh. So you can bring your hands to your heart. You can bring your elbows in the direction of your right shin bone. It's up to you. Flex your right ankle and try to energetically lift your right hip up in line with your left. There's a tendency for our right hip to sink down and into the midline. So think about a lift of your right hip and imagine you can widen your sits bones. So using your outer glutes, thinking about pulling your sit bones apart, your thigh bones apart. And from here, we're going to rise back up, one-legged Tadasana, breath in. Exhale, chair pose. Go ahead and sink right back into your chair. Airplane your arms beside you. Light up through your center as you lean to your right foot and come to your left tippy toes. If you'd like to, when you're ready, you're going to flamingo your left heel to your seat. Again, as the wobbles show up, just be present with that. See how it feels in your body to dive right into standing on one leg. Root through your right foot to grow tall, one-legged Tadasana, big breath in. We figure four, left ankle on your right thigh. So second side, different experience than the first, so take this to the depth that feels true for you. Just be curious about how it feels on this side, if the sensation is different, if your balance is different. And then try to reestablish your really steady breath. So a full inhale in and complete exhale out. Again, your left hip is lifted in line with your right, and you're trying to widen your sit bones here. Take your time, use your inhale to start to find your way back up, one-legged Tadasana. You exhale, chair pose, airplane arms. Interlace your hands behind your heart, bend at your elbows, and draw your elbows back and into the midline. Then possibly lengthen your arms and hinge forward to your forward fold. If you want to release the bind, feel free to release the bind. You're going to keep the bind here. If you still have it, lift your shoulders up away from your ears, squeeze your shoulder blades together, let your head hang heavy. You're going to bend into your left knee a lot and tilt your heart over to the right. Pull your right hip crease back in space. Take a big breath in. Exhale, bend both knees through center. Second side, then we'll release the bind. Bend into your right knee really generously. As you lengthen through your left leg, tilt your heart to the left. So you're twisting your heart open to the left. Left hip crease pulls back. IT band gets a little stretch, and then bend both of your knees, release your arms through center. Take an inhale to lift up halfway. Exhale, high plank, step it back. A little different this time. From your high plank, breath in, just one time, bend your knees, press your hips back into your heels. That crouching tiger. As you exhale, shift forward through plank. And then into upward facing dog. So skipping the chaturanga, untuck your toes. Let your hips sink, lift your heart, big breath in. And exhale, downward facing dog. Okay, breath in through your nose. And exhale out of your mouth. Inhale your right leg to the sky, three-legged dog. With your exhale, bend your knee and open your head. From here, little challenge, you're going to engage your core a lot. You're going to reach your right foot out to the right in line with your hip. Think about a one-legged like dog at a fire hydrant, but in your downward facing dog. You're trying to pull your right toes forward towards the top of your yoga mat energetically. And then go ahead and bend your knee again, open your hip. Stay or wild thing. Right toes might tip to the earth behind you. Open your heart to the sky. You're going to feel the power of your back body, facilitating that openness across your front line. Big transition here as we come through plank. It's going to be right knee to left tricep. So engage your belly a lot. Right knee's crossing underneath to your left tricep. Half fallen triangle. So keep both your hands on the ground. Keep your left heel lifted exactly as it is in plank. Just thread your right leg through as if you were going to your falling triangle. Flex your right ankle and slide your right foot forward. And then reach your heart forward. So it's really important here that your shoulders are sliding over your wrists. Your hips aren't dropping to the earth and they're not lifting up to the sky. You are completely planked out, except for your right leg. Rotate your left hip point down to the ground so your left hip is square. And then breathe length through your body so heart reaches forward. Okay, from here, fallen triangle, go ahead and open it up. Left heel lands, reach your left hand to the sky. Maybe adding that side bend action back in. Left hand to the top of your yoga mat as you inhale. With exhale, you're going to bring your left hand to the ground, bring your right knee to your nose. So left hand to the ground. As you lift your left heel, right knee to your nose. Step your right foot to the outside of your right hand, lizard lunge. Left knee lowers to the ground. Stretch your right hand forward on your inhale, big circle sweep with your right hand back to twist as you exhale. Option for a thigh stretch, maybe bend your left toe to your seat. Recatch and rotate your heart open. Again, engage your shoulder blades to the midline to open your chest. Take one last breath in. And then on your breath out, right hand's going to the inside of your right foot. Tuck your back toes, find your lifted lizard lunge. So back leg's gonna light up, front foot is strong. Lean into your right foot. We're gonna step into Malasana squat. So left foot goes wide. Adjust the angles of your toes and sink into your Malasana squat. Try to resist the urge just to dump down, lift up like 2 inches or so out of your greatest depth. Use your inner thighs and your outer glutes to open your knees wide, and then try to lift your heart, lift your shoulders back. Tailbone tips down to the earth as you get proud of your chest, but you're still lifting energetically up and away from the ground. Take one more breath in. And on your exhale, push into your feet, slowly start to rise all the way out to stand. After you've emptied your breath, you're going to use your inhale to complete the transition. Reach your hands to the sky. Exhale, goddess, your arms, elbows open wide. Breath in, reach your hands to the ceiling. Breath out, turn your toes forward, keeping your feet as wide as your yoga mat. Bend your knees, hand your pelvis back, and tip forward, 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 all the way to your forward fold. Halfway lift, lengthen your spine. Step back into your high plank pose. Just like we did before, we're gonna inhale, crouching tiger, bend your knees, push your booty back. Exhale, high plank. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Okay, take a breath in. And a breath out. You send your left leg to the sky, 3-legged dog, gathering a breath. Bend your knee and open your hip. Square your shoulders down to the earth, push and lengthen to your right side, your right arm. Engage your belly. Maybe start to send your left foot out to the left in line with your hip. So think dog at a fire hydrant, left leg long. Your left outer seat has to work really hard here. Take another breath in. And then exhale, bend your knee, open your hip again. Option for wild thing. Maybe left toe step to the earth behind you as you open your chest. Take a full inhale here. Our big transition that's coming up really recruits the core. It requires the core to do it safely so you don't compress to the low back. So begin to engage your belly. As you bring your left hand to the earth, you're taking your left knee to your right tricep. Cross it underneath you. Half fallen triangle, thread your left leg through, but keep the rest of your body planked out. Shift your heart forward. Shoulders shift forward over your wrists. With your right heel high, right hip is square. So right hip point rotates down towards your yoga mat. Right toes are pointing directly forward to the top of your yoga mat. Your left hip is pulling up to the sky and back in space as you flex your left foot. Take one more breath here. Fallen triangle, rotate your right heel down and reach your right hand high. Maybe reincorporate your side bend, right hand reaches overhead, big breath in. Now here's that other little transition. As you exhale, you're going to a plank with your left knee to your nose. So right hand down, bring your left knee to your nose. Step your left foot to the outside of your left hand. Lizard lunge, release your right knee to the earth. Big breath in, reaches your left hand forward. On your exhale, swim your left hand back. Option for your thigh stretch. Maybe your right heel just bends to your seat. Maybe you catch. Engage through your left leg. So use the power of your left leg to firmly root your left foot down into the ground as you take one more breath here. Okay. Just as we did before, we're going to make our way into our lifted lizard lunge. So left hand to the inside of your left foot, tuck your back toes, lift your back knee. Maybe come to your fingertips as you lean way far forward to your left foot. Push through your left foot, Malasana squat. Sink into your squat. Adjust the angle of your toes to work with your knees. Proud chest. Lifted booty. Again, resisting that urge to dump down. Your outer glutes pull your knees open. Your inner thighs encourage your knees open. Your pelvic floor finds that lift at the center of your body. Take a nice big breath in. As we slowly start to rise, exhale, press through your feet. After you empty your breath, inhale to rise all the way up, reach your hands high. Breath out, goddess your arms. Breath in, hands to the ceiling. Turn your toes forward, keeping your feet wide. Bend your knees and hinge your hips back as you tip all the way down to the earth. And with an inhale, take a halfway lift here. On your exhale, walk your feet together, traditional forward fold. So similar to what we did before with the bind, we're going to do this without the bind. Bend into your left knee a lot as you start to lengthen through your right leg. Bring your left fingertips to the earth, or you can use a block in front of your face. And twist your right hand open to the sky. Really hug your right hip back in space. And exhale, forward fold. Bend both of your knees as we switch. Right knee bends generously. Lengthen your left leg and twist open to the left. Nice big breath in. And then exhale, both knees bend, forward fold. Take one more lift through center. And exhale, breath out. So chair pose. Sinking into your seat. We've been here before. Take your breath in. Airplane arms, hands sweep back beside you. Lean into your left foot and start to come to your right tippy toes. Drive with your left heel to lift your navel to your spine. Perhaps you flamingo your right foot to your seat. We'll bring our right leg with us as we stand tall, one-legged Tadasana. And into your figure four, right ankle and left thigh, hands to heart. And if you want to incorporate your goddess arms here, Feel free, words are hard this morning. Feel free to engage your upper back and use that strength behind your heart to widen your elbows and lift the backs of your arms. And take another breath in. On your exhale, hands to heart, release. Headed to our airplane pose, you're gonna lift up just enough so you can send your right leg back and fly your wings beside you. Feel your inner right thigh spiral up to the sky so your hips are square. You can have softness in your left knee. Take a breath in. High crescent lunge, send your right toes to the back of your yoga mat. Inhale to reach to the sky. Now we're going to explore something here. This is one of the pieces that is from Sienna. You're going to tip forward, bring your hands and interlace them onto your left thigh. So you engage through your belly, you're going to push your hands into your left thigh and breathe into the back of your body. So think about breathing into your mid back. Drive down with your left heel. Feel how that creates more spaciousness, more stretch through the entire back of your torso. Now from here, you're going to keep that engagement through your front line, that breath into the back of your body. Bend your right knee like 2 inches. Then try to keep the spaciousness in your back body as you then lift up to your crescent lunge. That bend is still in your back knee. Like we did with our back knee down, engage through your belly, so your front hip points lift. And then from there, maybe add a little bit more length into your right leg. But make sure you aren't going to compromise that engagement we just created, that space we just created. But from here, inhale, airplane your arms hinge forward. And exhale, warrior 2, open up just for a moment. We'll take one breath in to reverse our warrior. Left hand reaches high for the side body stretch. Exhale, side angle. Left elbow can go to your thigh. Left hand can go to the earth. Extend your side angle by sending your right hand overhead. So your left glute, helping to open your left knee wide so it's stacked over your ankle. Same energy as your Malasana squat. And as you release your right hand to the earth, twist. You're going to unhook your right heel and twist your left hand to the sky. And from here, hopefully I'm not out of time. Okay, it's close. We're going to take a horizon lunge, then we'll take second side. So turn all 10 toes to face the left side of your yoga mat. You might have to wander your left foot back in space a little bit so that you can get onto the outside edges of your feet, the knife edges. Flex your feet, turn your heart open, think side plank through your body. So left shoulder leans back over your right, lift up through your hips. Listening to your body, if it feels okay, you're going to inhale, sink your hips down 1 time, reach your left hand to the back of your yoga mat. As you exhale, lift up, rotate into your high plank pose, left foot joins your right. Option here to inhale to crouching tiger, bend your knees, hip shift back. Exhale, high plank. Into upward facing dog, full inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog, hips to the sky. And take a breath in, lift your heels tall. Exhale to bend your knees, step or hop to the top of your yoga mat, forward fold. Take a halfway lift on your breath in to reset. And exhale, bow forward again. Chair pose, we sink into our seat. Breathe your hands up to the sky. And exhale, airplane arms. Send the energy to your right foot and become the left to be toes. Perhaps you flamingo your left heel to your seat. Now drive through your right foot to find the energy to lift. So root to rise, one-legged Tadasana, breath in. And figure 4, breath out. When we practiced this before, so take everything that we explored before in this shape and apply that to it now. You want to add in the goddess arm, so free to engage through your upper back, to open across your chest. And one more big breath in. Exhale, hands to your heart as you start to transition to your airplane pose. Lift up just enough to send it back. Breathe through the crown of your head forward, creating length. And as controlled as possible, high crescent lunge. Bend through your right knee and use the power of your right quad to lightly place your left toes down. We inhale to rise up. To create space to the back of the body so we're not compressing through our lumbar spine, and interlace your hands onto your right thigh. Press down through your right thigh with your hands as you pull your navel in and actively move breath into the back of your body. Bend your back knee maybe 2 inches or so. Navel stays to spine. Continue to press through your arms for one more moment. And then keep that length in your spine as you bring it tall. Engage through your front line. Feel the lift of your ribcage off your pelvis. Take a breath in. Maybe find more length in your left leg as long as that feels okay through your spine. Exhale to find your airplane arms to bit forward. And from here, it's warrior 2, unravel open. Breath in to reverse. Spaciousness along your right side. Exhale, extended side angle, so elbow to thigh or fingertips to the earth. Lengthen your left arm overhead, take a big breath in. Twisted low lunge, turning to face the right side of the room, lower your left hand to the earth. As you unhook your left heel, right hand reaches high. Horizon lunge, pivot all 10 toes to face the right side of your yoga mat. Flex your feet. Coming to the outside edges of your feet, so you want to be propped up on the knife edges of your feet. Pull your right hip back in space, squaring your pelvis to the right side of the room. Listening especially to your right knee. If it feels okay, inhale, sink your hips, reach to the back of your yoga mat. This time as we exhale, we're going to turn forward and step forward into a forward fold. Left foot to the top of your yoga mat. Soft knees, heavy head for a moment. And take a breath in. And then open mouth, exhale out. Slowly bend your knees and sink down to the earth, having a seat. We're going to lower to the back body. We'll take a couple final stretches. If you know that 8 a.m. is your stopping time, feel free to skip the final stretches. You can go right into Shavasana, take what you need. Usually I'm pretty mindful of the time, but you know how that goes sometimes. I didn't even do all the things I wanted to, but here we are. So finding your way to the earth, either using your core or choosing to just hug your knees in and relax back. We'll all meet on the back body. So once you get to the ground, again, however feels true for you in terms of a transition, you're going to take a big full body stretch. Reach your hands overhead, spread your fingers, your toes, take a breath in. And then open mouth, exhale, release. And draw your right knee into your chest. Keep your left leg long across the earth. And then send your right leg to the sky. You can have softness in your right knee. If it feels better, you can bend your left knee as well and land your left foot to the earth. So just listening to your right hamstring and IT band. Find a slight external rotation of your right thigh bone. That's going to help turn your right toes slightly to your right shoulder. Keeping that. Keep your right hip completely rooted to the earth. Do not let your right hip lift. And then send your right leg over to the left just a little bit. It might not go very far. And then from there, if you want to continue this, you can let your right hip lift and drop it into a twist. If having your right leg extended feels like too much, feel free to bend your right knee into your traditional supine twist. You can also use your left hand to hold your right leg. That's going to reach into the outside of your right leg, your IT band, and your outer right hip. Just take one breath in. On your exhale, bend into your right knee. Bring it back to center. Draw both knees into your chest, and then release your right leg long. Left knee pulls to your left shoulder just for a moment, lengthen through your low back, and then lengthen your left leg to the sky. Flex to your left foot, maybe find that slightly like external rotation through your leg. So again, you're using your thigh bone in your pelvis. You're turning the top of your left thigh towards the left side of your yoga mat to turn your left toes slightly to the left. From there, can you keep your left hip rooted, left side body long, and then start to tip your left foot towards the right side. Again, that might be like 1 inch, maybe it's a half an inch of movement. You can choose to stay here, or maybe keep your left leg long, continue to tip it over into this IT band twist. Again, if having your left leg extended in the twist is too much, you can bend your left knee into your traditional supine twist. Nice full inhale. Perhaps an open mouth exhale. And bend both of your knees into your body as you come back through center. Curl your nose up to your knees. Take a deep, deep inhale. If there's anything else that you're craving, add it in. Otherwise, exhale to your Shavasana, your final relaxation. And again, normally we'd spend a little bit more time on the back body. So feel free to take your time, or feel free to embrace Shavasana. When you are ready to settle in, customize your final shape to your anatomy. Adjust until your head, neck, shoulders, your hips, your arms, your legs all feel comfortable and supported by the earth. As you melt into your yoga mat, allow everything outside of this moment, this new moment, to fade away. Maybe using a breath as your reminder, your inhale as that invitation to here and now, your exhale as that ability, as your ability to release and to set aside and to let go, beginning again. Maybe if it would feel good, you take a big breath in through your nose. And a clearing exhale to release and let go. For these last couple minutes of your practice, if you feel your awareness start to wander, remember that you have your breath as a tool. And your breath is that tool to bring you back to here and now. Your breath is a reminder of your ability to reset at any moment. And your breath is also a tool that takes practice. It takes practice focusing your awareness at the present moment. There's a tendency for the mind to sway to and from. So again, just committing to the practice. Trusting that when you commit to the practice, you will find growth and expansion. Even though it may take time. All of the practice that you put in is moving you in that direction of your highest potential. because I want to honor your time. And I recognize that there is much outside of our lives than the 60 minutes that we try to squeeze in on our yoga mats. Feel free to stay in Shavasana exactly as you are and just close practice from the earth. Maybe stay there for a couple extra minutes. Otherwise, if you're closing class with me, you might bring one or both hands to your heart again, bringing back to mind your intention. Maybe surrounds practice and your commitment to a practice. Maybe it's a loved one, maybe it's something else. Bringing back to heart and mind the intention that you set at the beginning of your practice. And just checking in with it. If there's a revision to be made, maybe something else rings more true after moving and breathing across your mat. Go ahead and bring a intention to mind that feels really authentic and genuine to you in this moment. And we'll seal it in, we'll close our practice with one round of cleansing breath. Deep inhale in. And a clearing exhale out. And may yoga offer us a path to compassion. May our practices serve as our teachers, and guiding us to live with authenticity and to love deeply each and every day. Thank you so, so much. And namaste.